Us all to be here on this kind of cloudy, drizzly Sunday. I didn't expect this. I thought it'd be a little warmer than this, but that's okay. My name is Connie Carter. I serve on your board of directors here at UoT of Tustin, and it is my pleasure to welcome and gather us all here today this morning. I would like to start with introductions. Our leader today is Craig Stephen Phillips. He'll be delivering a message on resting in the mystery. And then our musical guest is Michael Murphy. That was beautiful. That was just gorgeous. Thank you for that. For the announcements, one of the big announcements today is that we're having our annual membership meeting today after services. This is kind of our State of the Union address. It's a big one. No, it truly, and we all get together and the members can vote on certain matters and so forth. We will review what we did last year and see how we did. We will be previewing what we're planning to do this upcoming year. We will be introducing our new board members, which is an absolute joy. We will be saying a thank you to the departing board members, which is a very sweet sorrow. Let's see. There will be expanded hospitality after service because we want you to be well-fed and content and everything so that you can stick around for the meeting afterwards and not have your stomachs rumbling. The meeting will end, it will begin at 1, it will end at 3, and we will also be holding a vote for the new election committee chair. Church membership is required to vote, but you're all very welcome and invited to join for the meeting, whether you're a member or not. Next message is, another message is silence your phones, please. Thanks for that reminder, whomever. Go ahead and shut those suckers right off. Let's see. Next Tuesday, March 21st at 1 p.m., Seniors for Seniors will meet in the sanctuary here for a lunch program on the longevity lifestyle. Flyers and signups are available at the information table right outside. And
just for seniors, everybody's welcome.
Thank you, Zelda. Thank you for clarifying that because Oh, it's not? Oh, okay, good. That's a good distinction. So everybody needs to know about longevity, you know, whether you're where I am or on your way there. So the last quick little note that I would like to say is, you know, you may have all seen the Oscars recently, and you may have seen, gosh, they have awards for cameramen and stuff. Wish I could be a cameraman. Well, guess what? You can. We need people here to help operate the cameras. And we are down to just a few camera operators, so we are looking for more. If you're thinking, I don't know how to do that, well, you will after Lance and Russell and everybody show you how to do it. So please get with one of those gentlemen and they can explain and join in. It's not like you have to do it every Sunday. You don't. So do consider learning how to do that. It's a neat little talent to have. And with that, I would like to invite everyone to please stand and join us in the congregational song, which is Come Together, not the Beatles one. Are there, like, lyrics? Thank you. Come together, heart and soul, as we love together. Young and old, we will sing together, together in one song. Come together, from different worlds we are drawn together. In our own way we can pray together, together we are strong. I see God in you, you see God in me. One path, one vision, one family. Come together, dreams in hands, we will join together to build a place we can grow together. Together we are home.
Good morning. My name is John Claude, and I'm one of your prayer chaplains here at Unity of Tustin. And then I get the honor of lighting the Christ candle and also reading the daily word. And we light the Christ candle, we'll do that first. It's to remind us that Christ consciousness that resides in every one of us. And what's wonderful about that, it's shared. We are one in that unity. Sunday the 19th of March, and the daily word today is comfort. And the affirmation is, I find comfort in expressions of love. And the scriptural text for this is, comfort your hearts and strengthen them in every good work and word. Thessalonians 2:17. I find comfort in expression of love. Speaking the words, I love you, provides comfort for an aching heart and peace in times of uncertainty. Today, I open my heart to these loving expressions as a soothing balm for distress or grief. When I'm concerned about another, love centers me in the truth that all is in divine order, no matter how circumstances appear. I unfold the people I care about in the sphere of love and circling them in peace and protection. When I am troubled, I find comfort in others' loving words. I surround myself with those who offer solace in my time of need. I find encouragement in their kindness and compassion. As we share of ourselves in kind and loving ways, we harden spirits and bolster faith, giving comfort to ourselves and others. So I will say the affirmation, I find comfort in expression to love, and then when I repeat it, please say it with me. So it's up on the screen as well. I find comfort in expressions of love. So we can say it together. I find comfort in expressions of love. In oneness.
As we pray this morning, I see some of you already have your hand over your heart. Feel free to do that. Right palm is always good. And as we pray, get a sense of the breath as a prayer. And as you breathe in, get a sense of breathing through your chest into your heart. Breathe a prayer this morning that already knows that God knows, the Tao knows what you already need. Breathe in the prayer that your prayers are already answered. They're answered right in this present moment. Just the way your life is. This is the wordless prayer. The prayer beyond words dissolves into silence, dissolves into this great mystery that we are all sharing and sitting in together today. Feel it. Let your prayer be an invitation for you to rest profoundly in this great mystery that is living you, that is breathing you, that is your very being. Take another breath of that. As you breathe out, let go. Let go. Let go. as we continue to rest in this unfathomable mystery, my invitation to everyone this morning is to feel that meditation is simply coming home to rest in this. There's really nothing more to be done. Whatever you carried here this morning, whatever problems are going on in your life, whatever you've been going through this week or this month or this year, just for now, drop the feeling or the need to control anything in your life. And just rest. Rest in the arms of this which is holding you, breathing you, loving you. And now allow yourself to rest more deeply. Bring your awareness to the silence in this temple this morning. Even the silence is a great mystery. We just give it that word. But listen. There's no mystery when you listen deeply to this silence that is not only around you, but is you. Rest in that silence. And absorbed in that silence, bring this question to your mind this morning. Be curious. Whose silence is this? Don't think about it. And now bring the question, whose silence am I? This is meditation. Meditation is not about mastering a technique. We're not doing any technique right now. Notice. And there's nothing wrong with techniques. I teach techniques, not this morning. The culmination of meditation is to do what we're doing now, to simply rest in this great mystery. As we spend our time together this morning, I invite you to just keep falling backward into the arms of this that's holding you this morning. It never leaves. It's always present. It's always available. It's always here. It's always you. The moment that we define it, the moment that we try to understand it with the mind, the moment that we put it into a concept or a theory or a belief, it slips through our fingers. And then we can let go and rest again in this presence. As you continue to rest, listen to these words written 2,300 years ago by the great Taoist sage, Chuang-Tzu. The master doesn't aim for success, doesn't avoid failure, doesn't act with a motive, doesn't try to follow the Tao. She speaks when she is silent, says nothing when she speaks, and remains pure amid the world's dust and grime. The master soars past the sun and moon, tucks the universe under her arm, and is one with the 10,000 things. She lets the confused stay confused if that is what they want, and is always available to those with a passion for the truth. In the welter of opinions, she alone is content with not knowing. She makes distinctions, but doesn't take them seriously. She sees the world constantly breaking apart and stays centered in the whole. She sees the world endlessly changing and never wants it to be different from what it is. Can we be like the sage who doesn't mind not knowing? who has given up trying to understand this mystery with words and concepts, with beliefs and theories. Can you be that master? What is there that you need to understand right now beyond this resting? Look and see. Some of you may feel like you could rest here for 1,000,000 years right now, infinitely, that you're home, and you are. We can find ourselves as we move along the spiritual path, and this starts very, very young for us, doesn't it? We're told that we have to figure things out. We need to know things conceptually. When we're really small, we're immersed in the mystery of a butterfly, the mystery of the wind through the trees, the mystery of the big open sky. As we lay back in a field just looking at how infinite it is. And we were content in the mystery. And many of us, as we've moved through this life, as the conceptual mind begins to dominate us, as we become identified with the voice in our head, there is a need to figure this out, to understand it conceptually, this great mystery that's living us right now. Many of you have had these great questions, probably maybe from when you were young, a young adult, not a youngster. Who am I? What's this life about? Why am I here? How many of you have found your answers without thinking about it? How many of you have come to rest in the truth that you cannot know this mystery with your conceptual mind? You cannot figure it out. You cannot think your way home. You cannot know who you are with one more thought. Do you see it? And yet we try. Oh my goodness, do we try? And we try. Probably the greatest moment, and it wasn't really a moment, it was a process for me in my own spiritual path with all these questions that I had about this mystery. Notice we haven't left it once since we entered it. But as I was going along my spiritual path, trying to figure myself out and figure the universe out, and I had these questions, the farther along I went, the more books I read, the more teachers I listened to, the more confused I became. I hear some of you laughing. Maybe that's you. Maybe that's still you. Not today. Not now. So I went along and was filled with all of this decade after decade. It was exhausting. There came a time when I didn't even know what I had been seeking. Out of that exhaustion, there was an invitation that came thank God, through the teachers in my life at that time, to just drop it. Drop your seeking. Drop your questions now. Can you face the truth that there is no answer in the way that you think you're going to find it in your mind? The invitation was, come home and rest in what you already know, in what's always been available to you since the time you were a child. Come home and rest in the great mystery that is breathing you and living you. And be free. Be free of your seeking. I often say to my students that the greatest step you can take in knowing who you are is to give up looking for who you are. You already know. Stop pretending. Stop playing the game, I don't know who I am. But we have to really be exhausted to get to that point. Exhausted of our drama. Exhausted of the story of the seeker who's got to find themselves or doesn't know themselves. Tired of all the dramas in our life that we think are interesting and more important than this that we're sitting in today. There's nothing more important. Lao Tzu, the great Taoist sage, says that for those that come to this realization that there is nothing more important than what you're sitting in right now, this great mystery that you're resting in. Many of you are continuing to rest, I noticed this morning. Then you find you know exactly who you are. One of my favorite verses in the Tao Te Ching has to do with this. And I'm going to read a little bit more of it this morning than I usually do. Usually I read the 2 lines of it, but I'm going to read a few more that has exactly to do with what I'm pointing at today. Listen from the mystery that you are. Listen from the depth of your being. Approach it, and there is no beginning. Follow it, and there is no end. You can't know it, but you can be it. At ease in your own life. Just realize where you come from. This is the essence of wisdom. It's beautiful to look at it. Some of you still have your eyes closed and a smile comes over your face as you hear this. Because the truth of this pierces so deeply. If I could only read one verse or stanza of a verse from the Tao Te Ching for the rest of my life, it would be this reminder. Lao Tzu is telling us. He says it a little more clearly, at least this first part, in another verse. But I'll talk about that in a moment. So he basically says that if you try to approach this mystery with your mind, with your intellectual understanding, with your need to figure it out, what you will find is there's no beginning to it. You'll never be able to get a hold of it. You'll never be able to understand it with your mind, ever. If you really knew that and you could drop your need to do that, how would you feel today? Look and see. Just drop it for now. This thought you don't know, this thought you got to figure it out. How do I stay in it? Drop it all. This thought you're not enough. Just drop it for a moment. Follow it, and there is no end. Infinite. Eternally now. Notice how it doesn't end as we sit here. Notice that the curtain didn't come down as I was talking. Well, Craig has hit the bell of truth. Time to bring the curtain down. Many of you have been with me for so many meditations where I point to this truth, and you can verify this for yourself today. Things continue, and they're continuing now without you personally having to do anything to make it happen. Please notice. Notice that you are not personally having to control the way this morning is moving and unfolding. You have no control over what I'm going to say. I'll give you a secret. I have no idea what I'm going to say next. You notice there's no script here. The Tao is pure spontaneity, pure trust. Can you live that way? Can you take that leap out of your mind? Notice, for those of you that are continuing to rest deeply, that the restfulness and the mystery just continues to hold you and nurture you and invite you deeper into its silence. If that's what you want. For many people there, and this was my story for a long time, there can come a time of starting to go into this depth naturally that we're sitting in today. And then there comes a time that the mind wants to get a hold of this. Wants to figure this out intellectually, be able to tell your friends about it. Oh, look at me. I'm in the depth. Let me tell you about it. Any great teacher can only point. They cannot give us what we already are. We're already that. And we cannot give it to another person. Ever. Then Lao Tzu says, and these are the key lines for me in the Tao Te Ching. This is my constant reminder. You cannot know it, but you can be it. You are it. All of you are sitting in it, absorbed in it, surrounded by it, penetrated by it, and being breathed by it right in this moment. Do you feel it? Do you know it? Can you be it? Don't try. We can't know it because to approach it with the conceptual mind pushes it away, as we've been talking about. To try to know this conceptually or with our ideas or our beliefs or our theories only obscures it. We may think, maybe some of you have had this experience. I certainly have. You go to bed at night and you got the universe figured out. You've read that book, man, that changed my life. You were at a weekend retreat, oh, the teacher was so good. For me, it used to be I'd go for a week or two and come back filled up. It's beautiful. Eventually that would fade. Maybe some of you know what I'm talking about. Yeah? I see some of you nodding. Right. And then we wonder what happened to it. Right? I got to get back there and do another retreat, I guess, next year. The reason for this is because we're trying to get a hold of something that we cannot get a hold of with our mind. The reason that you know what you're thinking right now is because of this mystery that we're resting in. The reason that you know that there are thoughts appearing in your head is because that mystery is listening to your thoughts. Wow. The thoughts are appearing in that great space of awareness. Once we begin to rest and let go of the need to know this with the mind, with our concepts, and many of you today are being it. You're just resting in what you are, this great mystery. Notice that the moment you go back into the mind to figure it out, it slips through your fingers. And then you can let that go and rest again, a little deeper. There's a great joy in this arising that, I don't need to figure anything out with my mind. In fact, my whole life I've been trying to do that, and I've been pushing the mystery away. So what does Lao Tzu tell us when we start to just be? When we just start to be the Tao and rest in this mystery. Here's what he says. You'll be at ease in your own life. I would reckon that many of you are very much at ease right now. I see it. At ease. How often are you at ease in your life? Just flowing. Not needing to figure anything out or figure yourself out or figure your life out. And notice you've been doing that your whole life, and yet here you are today. Something got you here after all of these years, after all that stuff, here you are, at ease. At ease in your own life. I said this on Wednesday when I was giving the Dharma talk after meditation. I was talking about this verse because people that come there know that I talk about this a lot. And I said, if you were to tell if somebody was to have told me when I started the spiritual path, well, here's what you'll get out of all those years of meditation and, teachers and retreats, you'll be at ease. Oh, I don't know. I was hoping for some power or, I was hoping to be able to zap somebody between the eyes or, I don't know, but just I get to be at ease. I tell you now, after all these decades, it's the greatest treasure. To walk through your life at ease in the flow, I'd call that a bargain. And all I got to do is let go of this sense that I'm in charge, that I'm in control. The grand illusion, right? That I'm in control of my life. I talk about this a lot. Many spiritual teachers have said the primary obstacle to living with ease in this flow, in this mystery, is that you think you still have control over your life. Some of you just laughed. God laughs when we think we have control, right? Poor thing. I guess there'll be some more suffering for you. And then you'll be on your knees to me, and then maybe then you'll be ready to really let go of this illusion of control. When you got up today, some of you may have wanted a sunny day. Do you have any control over the clouds in the sky? Exactly. I could give 1,000 more examples, but you know what I mean. You don't have control. A primary step to peace is to lay down this illusion that you somehow can force your life to be the way your mind thinks it should be. Who would you be today? Ask the question of your mind. Who would you be today if you just dropped your illusion of control and let life live you? Because it is. Notice. The same power that's unfolding this in a way that we don't have to personally do anything to make it continue. Notice that power is breathing you now without you having to think about it. Your thoughts? Are you doing that? Really? God, I hope not. I'm speaking about my own mind, not yours. Thoughts happen. They're happening. Breath. The unfolding of your life is happening in this great mystery that you are, that is living you, that is making it all happen now magically. We can get a sense of how vast God is. God is that could go lights out and it disappears. Can you get a hold of that? Gone. Game over. The only reason that you know you exist is because of God, the Tao. Can you get a hold of this? I'm not clear about a lot about what I've gathered over these decades of meditation, but the one thing I do know is that I am alive and here and aware because of the Tao. There is no me or life outside that life that is doing all this. And it is a mystery. It's a mystery that I do not bother to figure out anymore. I just rest in it. And when I stop resting in it, I notice that I suffer. I notice there's a lot of emotional and mental pain in thinking that there is something in this world more important than the Tao, than God. This brings me to that line in the Tao Te Ching, in case some of you thought I have forgotten. Again, maybe my favorite one line out of this book. The Master cares about nothing but the Tao. I'll say it this way. Many of you have fallen into and continue to rest in this mystery now. Just resting. Can you imagine falling in love with that to the point that nothing else matters to you? Please go there today. How would it be for you? If all you cared about was living in and out of this mystery that you are absorbed in this morning, how would it be? In a world that has seemingly gone mad, every day that I'm reminded of this teaching, I am called to it more deeply, to rest here. There's no control over what's happening out here. You notice that. There's no control over the personal karma that we are going through other than our ability to relinquish control and let life, the Tao, live you. Because it is anyway, as I said. Notice, you're still here, you're still breathing. I've talked about this before. I wake up in the morning. I woke up this morning. I said, well, here I am again. No, really. It's like the eyes come open in the morning. It's like, well, I've got another day. Obviously, I didn't choose that. I know none of you chose to open your eyes today. Maybe it was a great surprise to you. You look down at your body and maybe you have some aches and pains. And then immediately the mind goes to, oh my God, my problems. So-and-so did that to me yesterday, and now I'm remembering that email I got this week, or whatever it is. We go into this pettiness. It's just, it doesn't matter in the way that we think it does. This is why Lao Tzu said, the master, the sage, and this, by the way, the Taoists are clear. I'm speaking about all of you here. the Master, is sitting here with me. How many do we have here today? A lot. A lot of masters in this place. The Master cares about nothing but the Tao. I ask you to go into that, and can you imagine living that way? Because I will tell you something. Until we are willing to embrace this teaching and practice it, we will not know peace. You will not know freedom. You will not know liberation. You will not. The Buddha said it this way: a little bit of meditation, a little bit of happiness. Medium ground of meditation, medium ground of happiness. Lots of meditation, present moment, lots, big happiness. It's been amazing to me in my own life how quickly I can get pulled out of the knowing of this truth that I'm pointing at today. How enticing the world is. My wanting once again to get a hold of control of my life and get it on. Stir it up, have fun, which lasts for about 10 seconds. My dear friend John, who is sitting right here, was at meditation on Wednesday. And John knows that this is very similar to the Dharma talk I gave on Wednesday. Those of you who have come enough times, even on a Sunday, that don't come on Wednesday. But boy, if you come, and like John have been coming for years to our meditations and Dharma talks, I basically talk about this every time. You're laughing because you're getting clued in. Oh, sometimes I have a new angle into it. I could have talked about the truth that everything changes today, or love, but it's all going to the same space. But anyway, we were discussing this after meditation Wednesday, and John shared that the sages say, this is not an acquiring, this is a remembering. I'm going to say it again. This is not an acquiring of who you are. It is a remembering over and over and over when you get lost of who you are. You can't know it. When you go in the mind looking, you can only be it. Relax. In the mystery. And as you become absorbed more and more in that internal state of peace and liberation, your love affair is with that. One of my teachers used to say, fall in love with that. What more could you want? All the sages are clear. You're not going to find what you're looking for in the world. Although, God, we try. We try. And we exhaust ourselves in vain. And then we remember, don't we? Yeah. And we wake up again. At least for a while. We may get pulled back out of the mystery again, and we come back. We get pulled out. This seems to be the way of it. But the pulling out and the coming back gets shorter and shorter. In the old days, I'd get pulled out of it and wander around for months or a year or more, just lost in the mind, until I would wake up again and come back. I just don't do that anymore, because of this realization that the only thing that matters is the Tao. This life, this force that is unfolding you now. Rest in that. Rest in it as much as you can. It will be the only sanctuary. It's true now anyway. Those of you that are wondering what you can do in this ever-changing, crazy, upheaval we are going through. You're not imagining things, by the way. I think it's important to talk about, to point at. The world's challenging right now and liable to get more challenging. So, where will you find your sanctuary, if not within? Where will you find what you're looking for, if not in the Tao right now? Take refuge there. It will welcome you home over and over and over again. It is always available. It is always present. And it is always here as the great mystery that you are. Let's rest for a few moments. As you rest, get a sense again in meditation of not needing to know, not wanting to know, not trying to figure this out. But allow yourself to simply rest in the mystery. Listen now to these words from spiritual teacher Muji. There is a presence, a silence, a stillness that is here by itself. There is no doer of it, no creator of this stillness. It is a mystery. It is simply here in you, with you, as you. It is the fragrance of your true self. There is nothing to do to make this happen. It is naturally present. This fragrance of peace, of spaciousness, it is the fragrance of your own being. Listen.
So thank you, Craig, for bringing our awareness and guiding us into the resting in the mystery. And I will, while resting in the mystery, and bring myself to conceptual thoughts as we follow being a platform assistant here. We continue with the invitation for welcoming the new guests. I just want to state here, our mission here at Unity of Tustin is to transform lives and inspire people to make a positive difference in the world. We are an inclusive spiritual community. We believe in many paths, one God. We'd like you to know that whatever your background, spiritual path, sexual orientation, or gender identity, you are welcome to celebrate God with us, because God and unity leave no one out. Now, it is time we welcome our first-time guests in person and online. We are so grateful that you have joined us today. We have any newcomers to our congregation? If you do, if you feel comfortable, please raise your hand, and one of the ushers will bring a flower and an information card so that you can give your information and keep in contact with us. So we have one over here. Welcome to our community. Okay. Let's give her a hand. Now is the time for our love offering. For those of you who are not first-time guests, we take this moment to share our financial gifts with our ministry. Our ministry and meditation garden at Unity of Tustin exist because of our committed giving. There are many ways for you to give. The ushers are passing the love offering basket, and there is a donation kiosk at the back of the sanctuary, and there's a QR code on the back of your order of service. Our online community can click on a donate tab on our live stream, and we encourage everyone to set up an automatic giving on the website. I invite you, Craig.
So the baskets are continuing to come around, and we'll do a prayer on the offerings. So I've been saying in recent months, as the baskets are getting ready to come up, that, and probably all of you noticed this today, as you arrived, everything was still here, right? The electricity was on, and Tony's here doing the sound, I'm here, and here we are. The gardens still look beautiful, and all of this happens because of these offerings that you just gave. You know, it's ownership of the community. Without those offerings, this would disappear, right? So let's come forth with the offerings, and as I do when I'm here, if you wish, you can hold your hands up, send light and energy into these offerings. And we pray, we know that these offerings go forward from here to continue to support and allow this community to thrive. And as it thrives, to reach more and more truth-seeking souls. And what a wondrous gift that is. And so it is.
And let's together all say the love offering blessing. Divine love as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And Michael has another beautiful gift for us.
I'm pretty meditative right now. Get me going.
Thank you, Michael. Beautiful, beautiful. At this time, I invite the ushers to come forward. so that Craig can bless our offerings.
Oh, I did.
You already did?
I did. It's another blessing is good, Jonathan. In the mystery.
And a mystery, right. I need to update my notes, I guess. So please join us for some good food and good connection after the service at the hospitality table. And as Connie said, I don't know, something special going on the hospitality table today. So make sure you have that connection and be there. If you're new, feel free to introduce yourself. We'd love to get acquainted with you. Our bookstore is open. We have Reiki practitioners. You will see them wearing a green ribbon and are available to provide Reiki. And our prayer chaplains wearing white ribbons, like I am over here, saying prayer, will be at the entrance of the meditation gardens to listen and pray with you and hold you in prayer in the highest confidence. Now let us end today's service with the prayer for protection. And together, let's all stand up and say the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Now go forth and be the light and the love you wish to see flourish in the world. Go forth and live it. All right, thank you. Thank you.
Great talk, brother. Hey, let's have him back. And let's get the week of... Can you play like that?
He's in that level.
Different level.
Oh, yeah.
Great talk, buddy. Spontaneity, trust, everyone inclusion.
And remember,
Love you, buddy.
you too.
See you later, friend.
Didn't get better.
Wow. Thank you for your service.
Somewhere.
Remembering statement from the gallery.
That's too little to be alone.
Exactly. We have to care for it. Thank you. Yeah, well, you know. It's all that's good. Yeah, the first second book of the Tao that I read from first. This is my